My name is Super Scudge.
And I'm Dark Shadows 59. I'll be commentating with Super Sketch today, and it looks like they're off.
Yeah, getting started quick here. Both opting to start at the Sanctuary. Almost called fcoughlin Fred. Going to have to be careful not to do that. FC staying at the Sanctuary. Freddeh choosing to go to Link's house immediately afterwards.
It looks like Freddy's about to take the Southern Kakariko route. It's one I haven't seen a whole lot of. One I'm not familiar with myself. And Fred Coughlin over here going for Houlihan.
Yeah, Freddy's going to be relying on a couple of random bomb drops here. There's 2 bushes in this set of bushes that have a 50% chance to drop a bomb. So we'll try to get 2 of those before he goes to town. At least 2. And then see what happens in town. Well, FC's loading up on rupees. The Houlihan opener is pretty consistent because you always have enough money to buy the merchant item in town, and you can also purchase bombs if you don't have enough bombs from random sources. Now, the reason why Freddy really wanted to come in here with 2 as a minimum is because if he needed to spend 1 to do the race game, he wanted to have a minimum of 1 more to get the bomb stock in southwest Kakariko town. But because he didn't have to use 1 on the race game, he'll have 2 here. He'll be able to check 2 locations, 1 using a bomb. If he picks up more bombs there, he won't have to get any more. But if he doesn't, he'll have to either visit the stock or purchase some.
That's an early Moon Pearl.
Yeah, that's a lot of comfort early.
So now we need just 2 mitts or mitts and a hammer, and we'll see Dark World access early.
Oh, yeah. This also does let him do a little more obscure minor glitch, which is the walk on water glitch, which is a variation of fake flippers, which would let him get 2 more chests in the Waterfall of Wishing if they decide to go that way early.
And if they don't find any of the 300 rupee drops, or if Freddy doesn't find enough, then Coughlin is going to give him an advantage with the Houlihan because he'll be able to fake flipper up to Zora for that item as well as the waterfall.
Yeah, for sure. Freddy's opting to stock all the way up on bombs here. There's also an arrow pot at the top there, the top middle pot. 5 arrows. Not a bad choice to get those. But of course, he wouldn't be able to use them for a while anyway. Well, potentially a while. We really don't know. It could be right away. Fred was able to purchase bombs because he did the Houlihan room early, so he didn't have to go down to the stock room. With a fire rod, another important item that doesn't really open up anything now. Still gives some comfort going forward. Oh, an early sword. In open mode seeds, because you don't start with a sword, the first sword is very important. That's going to allow a lot... there's a few places where you have to kill enemies to proceed, and if you have other items that do damage, you can improvise or make do with them. But with the sword, you have a source of damage that doesn't require ammo, like a magic weapon or the bow or something. Or bombs, of course.
This also means once they get Dark World access, Skull Woods will be full clearable already, since they have the fire rod to get to the back and the sword to break the curtain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Skull Woods is often a lucrative dungeon, at least it seems to be in this version.
Yeah, it may only have 2 items, but we've seen a lot of seeds where one of the items is huge. And there's the validation green rupee from Freddeh.
Nice. There are 2 green rupees in the vanilla game in chests. Little trivia. One of them is on the laser bridge in Turtle Rock, and the other, I believe, is in the compass room of Ganon's tower, which is on the east side. Going to Skull Woods, we'll probably see a tree pool. See what the randomized pack is there, and a couple more item locations.
Normally, you like seeing bombs out of here, but they've already filled up on bombs. Though arrows be nice for once they find the bow.
Yeah. So the way Freddie's doing this, I'm going to guess that he's going to save and quit after checking this item. If he did it the other way, I'd assume that he's going to go up to the lumberjack and then save and quit. Yeah.
So we haven't seen a map check from either runner yet.
Yeah. We may not for a while. Sometimes I don't check the map until I'm actually able to complete a dungeon, and then I decide whether or not it's worth it. Freddie's going to check out Escape here. He can probably do the entirety of, well, we call it Escape, even though the Escape quest itself is not required in open mode, but Hyrule Castle, we should say, and the locale. See, FC is taking a wide path around the thick grass there because you have a faster movement speed in regular ground. It's not always worth it to take a longer path, even if the movement speed is a little higher, but sometimes it is. There, it's kind of a strange thing where you can avoid some of the grass, but not all of it to get the actual exactly optimal path. Not something that most people probably think about or should think about.
Found out the next tier tree pulls only 4 hearts, so tree pulls not very lucrative this time.
Yeah, I mean, if he had somehow lost 4 hearts when he pulled that, he'd be really happy, but it's pretty pointless when you have full hearts.
So with the runner splitting up like this, we'll probably see an advantage very shortly, either from the castle paying out or from Moldorm Cave paying out.
Yeah, definitely a good chance of finding something in one of these locations. But odds are, whichever one these players are doing now, they're going to do the other one next, so the advantage won't last long. Well, a lot of hearts there.
A lot of hearts. Well, they haven't found a mail upgrade yet, so I'll probably be happy to have those extra hearts for now.
Yeah. Usually safety items aren't the most exciting thing to find when you're playing. You really want to find progression items, but there is kind of a base level of security that you do still like to have. And 7 hearts in the light world is pretty much there. Ice Rod Cave. Some players like to skip this, where FC is headed now, because it takes so long to get to. But I've seen a lot of people get burned by it, and I know a lot of people will never skip it, just for that reason. Hyrule Castle not really holding anything. Nor is the Ice Rod Cave. FC is walking back out. Okay, he's going to save and quit. I would have guessed fake flippers if he'd walked all the way out. But I think he just had about a second or two of indecision before deciding exactly what to do. There's a map check.
There's a map check.
No important crystals, but there's a crystal at Desert and Tower of Hera, and blue pendant at Eastern Palace. Not the important pendant either.
Between both our runners, I think they've checked everything that's not a sequence break, with the exception of Sarsaparilla.
Yeah, they could get inside of Eastern Palace, and of course there's Agana, just a single lone location way out in the desert. Yeah, they're going to be hoping to find something. Well, there's something.
Power Gloves is definitely something.
Yeah, that'll open up a few more locations immediately, and of course, combined with other items, become very, very useful. He's going to make his way into Pendant Eastern Palace without the bow, so he's not really intending to complete this dungeon, probably ever. But you can check most of the item locations, albeit with a couple of dark rooms in the middle. But I'm sure he's already prepared himself for that.
I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see the Darkroom chest in Hyrule Castle checked, but that's only one location. That's probably not gonna have anything.
Yeah, and that can definitely be a tough one to find. I mean, you don't want to be scrambling in the dark for a very long time, especially for a sequence break. But I've seen a lot of people do it. I've seen races where both players are doing it at the same time. Those are fun. You have no idea what's actually happening under the darkness.
And Freddie does have a reason to go back there because he's got the power glove, so we might still see it out of him.
Mm. Okay, Canis Moria. That's a good item. We don't know for sure if it's required yet, but there is a fairly decent chance because it's required to complete 2 Dark World dungeons and to access several chests within Ganon's tower.
And depending on how the logic routes Ice Palace, it could even be required for Ice Palace.
Is it ever? I guess it could be, yeah, in some situations.
Yeah, I believe it's if Cold Stare has a small key on him.
Fred got another full heart container with that heart piece. He's now almost doubling his opponent's heart count. Did I call him Fred again? I'm sorry, I'm going to confuse people. Yeah, but it looks like FC is also making his way over to Sahasrahla. He may or may not decide to go to Eastern Palace as well after he finds the Power Glove. Meanwhile, Freddie is doing those dark rooms. Not the hardest ones. Obviously, it's subjective, but most people, I think, agree that these are some of the easier ones to get through. The enemies in here, they don't target you to try to hurt you, and they don't do a lot of damage. So you're not really too worried about getting killed or anything. It's just a matter of finding the pot with the key under it.
Yeah, we saw Freddie take a couple hits, but even on green mail, they only do half a heart. And there's FC dropping a bomb on Sahasrahla.
Ooh, Freddie is doing what we call the big key skip in regular speed runs, but it's a little bit of a misleading name. It's actually a skip to get the big key, not to actually skip having it entirely. But you do a damage boost to get through the anti-fairy circle in order to press that button without having to kill the enemies in the room, which is the normal trigger to get them to disperse. He took a few hearts of damage, but he had just enough to spare in order to be able to do it. So it did work out. Rewarded with the powder for that little trick.
And that powder is all 3 items out of Eastern. But with the Red Cane, we do know Pendant Eastern was required. At least to dip in.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably pretty happy that he was able to get all the items. Ooh, and the hammer. Very nice. That's actually Dark World access now.
Did he find a small key in the castle somewhere? Because I don't think he had a small key left, so that means the darkroom chest might just be that small key.
Yeah, that's a nice deduction to be able to make, because then that's just one location that you don't ever want to have to think about again. So if you can rule it out like that, then that's a nice thing to be able to do. So Freddie's first trip to the Dark World is going to include Hype Cave. At least that's how this cave used to be called. We might need a new name for it. So we got 5 and 6 at Swamp and Turtle Rock.
And Ice Palace is green.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was hoping he doesn't have to do that, probably, but seems like Ice Palace often is included in these runs these days.
Oh, Hype Cave had something important. It had the swag net.
That's not really going to do too much for him, but with the powder, if he feels like trapping a fairy somewhere, that'll be viable.
Right after he finds a bottle.
Well, yeah, that's true. We'll need that first. In fact, even if he gets a bottle, being able to check a new location with it is probably even more value than even using it.
Something you might want to note, though, is that they found the hammer after the dark room in the eastern, so they are sequence breaking right now because they're expected to at least have the lamp by now.
Well, they found the hammer without needing to go through the dark room. The gloves were in the back of Sahasra's house, so they would have been able to get to it anyway. Sword upgrade on the pyramid. You need at least the level 2 sword to kill Ganon, but the fight with just the level 2 sword is very difficult. You're going to want a higher level sword or the silver arrows, or really both is what you want. Freddeh continuing the Dark World trek up to Catfish. Meanwhile, FC is picking up that hammer. We'll see if he immediately goes to the Dark World. There really aren't very many other options, but he might choose a different route through it for his first trip to Dark World.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he checks to see if Skull Woods is required and just go ahead and clear it since he's got everything to clear it.
Yeah.
But Mothula on a fighter sword is rough.
Yeah, he does have 10 hearts though. If he can get in there with a lot of magic, so he can use the fire rod for a lot of the fight, he'll be pretty happy. But yeah, he's going to choose a different access point for Dark World, starting near the village of the Outcasts. May clear the village first before going to town, or before going to Skull Woods rather, just because the overworld travel from the end of Skull Woods back into Kakariko Town is very long. But the opposite, since you actually have to complete Skull Woods along the way, is not as bad.
You might also check those first 4 chests in Thieves Town. It's a bit unfortunate that it's a pendant this time around, but it can still hold some good stuff.
Yeah, looks like we go to the woods first. Yeah, I might check first 4. I might even get all items from Thieves Town, but not kill the boss unless the boss is holding the last item. It'd be something that I'd decide at the moment. As I'm walking into the dungeon, I'd make the decision. But I'd definitely at least go into it and look around.
Oh, that's half magic. That's you were talking about magic earlier for the moth. Well, there it is.
Yeah, it takes 8 successful fire rod shots to kill Mothula. With half magic, you can do 16. You're not likely to get to the fight with full magic, but you can have a lot of it, more than enough. And then you can just focus purely on dodging. Just try to stay alive. Hit him when you can. Don't be a hero.
It may be a race, but you can't win if you die a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Well, probably not. Freddeh's just clearing out a few locations that we've already seen from FC. Actually, he's doing fake flippers, so we are going to see a few new locations from him as well.
FC's not checking the big chest. Kind of. Oh, and there's a cape on the island.
Oh, there's still a chance that could be useful. He may not have gotten the big key yet, FC.
Oh, he got it. He got it. Yeah, on the room to the left of the key door. So he had to go into the room.
Huh. Yeah, that's a strange choice from him. I didn't actually see it, but yeah, that's a bit odd. Oh, first armor upgrade from the hobo, literally giving you the clothes off his back.
Oh, Freddie got the fake flippers off the hobo.
Yeah, cool little trick there. Probably see him check the Waterfall of Wishing. He'll be able to look at the ledge item in Zora's domain, but not actually acquire it. And he doesn't have enough rupees to buy the item from Zora. So unless he gets a nice rupee chest coming up here, he won't be able to check that either.
Yeah, one thing to note, FC did the Houlihan room, and he's only at 522 rupees right now. 542 with that big 20 off the Gibdo.
Yeah, not the richest of seats. FC using that powder just to make sure he goes into this fight with full health. Half a bar of half magic is enough. Well, should be enough. We'll see. The hammer does good damage against Moth, but it's just not very easy to use. I don't mind using the hammer a little bit when I still have a lot of hearts, but if I get low, I'd rather take a safer option like a Fire Rod or Sword. Well, there's nothing wrong with just doing that the whole time because it is the safer option.
Yeah, trying to use a hammer on a moving conveyor belt, it's not fun.
Yeah. He's doing the dance. He took him down eventually. Oh, wow.
The boots! What are those?
Oh, nice. Yeah, and that's the other item from this dungeon, so he doesn't have to go back and check any of the other locations remaining.
That might have been why he didn't check the big chest. He might have been gambling that the other item was in the back half, and if so, it paid off.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon thing to do, especially considering, as you're seeing right now, he has to backtrack through this dungeon. So if he did not find the item later, he would have been able to check the chest without going far out of his way on this backtrack. But he doesn't even have to check it now. See if Freddeh also opts to do Skullwoods first, or if he checks out the village of the outcasts. It's going to be Skullwoods. With the hammer, I'd probably go, if I was planning on going to Thieves Town, which as I said earlier, I probably would, I'd go straight in. I wouldn't check all the other town chests first. If I didn't have the hammer, I'd check those just on the very small chance that one of them is the hammer to make the Thieves Town clear a little cleaner, a little more of a guarantee.
Now, assuming he's going to go into Thieves Town, hopefully he doesn't end up with a troll where all 4 chests up front are not items, because it is possible that none of those front 4 is an item.
Yeah, that wouldn't feel good. Looks like that's where he's going now. Maybe thinking about the potential to save and quit out of here. So he might have wanted, since he doesn't have the mirror, he wouldn't be able to quickly get back to the beginning of the dungeon. Well, Flipper's there. That might motivate him to go towards Zora's domain soon.
We saw from Freddeh that all that's on the ledge is 3 bombs, and the waterfall didn't pan out either.
Right. So Freddeh has missed half magic in this dungeon, going straight for the boss. It'll make the fight a little bit more difficult for him. He has the stronger sword though, so that's going to help him.
Oh, there's the hook shot out of Thieves Town.
Really good Thieves Town so far. But he's gonna Death Warp. Okay. He's not going to continue checking the dungeon. 2 good items. What are the odds of more good items being here? Seems like when you leave early, the odds increase.
That's also breadcrumbs to Swamp Palace. No, they can't do Swamp Palace yet because they still don't have the mirror.
Yeah, not quite. Good moth fight from Freddeh. Happy to find those boots.
Now we'll see if he goes back in and checks for that second item. Half magic may not be required, but definitely good to have. And FC is saying, "I'm rich enough. I don't need that 300 rupees."
Well, he knows what all of his remaining expenses are. 500 for the flippers, 110 for Kiki, 10 for the tempered sword. Don't think he's worried about finding 20 more before he has to make all those purchases. Sometimes I forget all the necessary purchases, so I'll have exactly 500 or right around there. Spend them on the flippers, go to Village of the Outcasts, not be able to afford the chess game or the digging game, and then remember some rupees that I skipped and feel really silly. But I think that's not going to happen to him.
I know some runners, it's nice to have a little bit extra for potions for safety strats, but at this stage, these runners either are feeling pretty comfortable and won't need them, or feeling the pressure trying to get through to the wild card round.
Yeah, I mean, there have been races that have come down to just a few seconds difference, so skipping it might seem like it could make that difference, but at the same time, skipping safety items has caused players to die and lose races for that reason. So you got to have some confidence if you want to skip things like that. Ooh.
Heard you like a fetch quest.
Yeah, picking up the shovel. Doesn't look like he wants to dig right away. I think he had enough digging with the digging game earlier. Guess it's time to check out the tree and to know if Aghanim is going to be required at all. Looks like it won't be.
Not unless they really want 20 more rupees.
And yeah, it's going to be Death Mountain for FC. He does not have the lamp, which means this is technically a sequence break. I do believe this is one of the easier dark rooms. There's no enemies that are going to get in your way if you go the correct path. It's a pretty straight path to your destination. You can use the sparkles of the sword because it has a little trail to get an idea of the direction you're moving, which is good enough in this case to find your way. Freddeh confirming that the cape's not going to be required either.
An old man just give him $50 for his trouble. Not one of the worst rewards we've seen, but
I don't know. If you save somebody's life and they empty out their wallet, I'd say that's a good reward. A lot of locations here in Death Mountain. They can clear out the entirety of the Light World portion of it. And afterwards, FC should be able to go to the Tower of Hera, which we do know is a crystal dungeon. With the fire source, he'll definitely be able to complete that as well.
And we got a bottle of Blue Goose, so if they ever head back to Kakariko, which they will be at some point for flippers, but they'll have Sick Kid to check.
Yeah, I don't know when I would route that in. That Sick Kid check. Maybe wait until I could do... Maybe wait for anything else in town, like flute, or being able to do the Smith quest. Maybe even getting the mirror to do some of the things around there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd never like to route back to a spot just for one chest, and these runners probably feeling the same way. Hopefully, Sick Kid doesn't have anything too tremendous.
Sometimes he does, though. But yeah, same thing with the digging, the shovel quest. I wouldn't want to go there by itself, but after they get the mirror, maybe they can also link in a couple of other locations in the area. FC dropping another bomb. Sort of a symbol of disappointment. He's gonna have to climb back up this mountain. Luckily, it really doesn't take long to get back up the mountain in these caves. It's 2 small rooms, and then you're at the top.
It looked like FC was about to dash downward to the Dark World warp and then realized, wait, I don't have Titan's mitts yet.
Yeah, a little hesitation. Freddie's actually going to finish the rest of Thieves Town, so we may see something new here from him, while FC is making his way to the Tower of Hera.
Chat bringing up a point, though. They do have another reason to go to Kakariko right now. They have the powder and the hammer.
Yeah, that's true. That's one more thing they could check while they're there. Oh, okay. That's a really convenient place for the Titan mitts, because he can leave here and immediately do Dark World Death Mountain.
And then it means they'll also be able to check Turtle Rock and see what's required there.
Yeah. Getting
And
small key.
We got a basement required.
Yeah. Doesn't make runners too happy, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I think it's better than leaving when there's like a potentially useful item, a non-dungeon item in the basement. You have to decide: do I gamble on it or do I definitely get it? In this case, at least it's forced, so you don't really have to make that choice. A little lag on my end here.
Freddie's. Oh, did Sick Kid have the mirror? I missed mirror somewhere.
It must have been deeper in Thieves Town.
Oh, Thieves Town. Yeah, he doesn't have a bottle. Sick Kid couldn't have a mirror. But that's a mirror in Thieves Town, so FC's going to have to go back in there.
So I think my internet was having a little hiccup there. But yeah, if the mirror was in Thieves Town, yeah, like I said, when you skip that those last few locations, it seems the odds of something being in there increases. Obviously, it's not really the case. FC getting the second item, another bottle from Tower of Hera, means he doesn't have to check any more locations, but he'll still kill Moldorm for the crystal.
And Freddy's about to go into Swamp House, it looks like. With just a fighter sword, FC is using hammer strats on Moldorm, trying to avoid that speed up, and doing real solid with them hammer strats.
Yeah, it only takes 3 hits instead of 6 with a hammer. It can be a little more risky though. Holding the sword out can give you some protection. Doing a spin attack has a nice AoE, so you don't have to be as precise. And of course, the hitbox and the hammer can be really unpredictable sometimes. But yeah, having a clean fight with that is really impressive.
And the main problem with fighter sword Moldorm is even with spin attack, it still takes 6 hits.
Yeah.
So you still end up with a speed up phase after that 5th hit.
Yeah. Looks like FC did not choose to do Dark World Death Mountain while he was up there.
Is FC going after Ike? No, he hasn't checked Hobo yet.
Yeah, this will be his first time swimming. Probably make his way all the way up to Zora's domain from here.
And we can see what the big fish has. Thing to note, though, he does have everything he needs to do Ice Palace right now, but it's a green pendant, so I doubt he'll dip in there.
Yeah, Ice Palace, has items a lot. I've seen a lot of runs lately where like every potential item in Ice Palace was good. It's crazy, but yeah, I still wouldn't do it early. Not if I didn't have to.
Oh, Freddie's skipping left side swamp.
Yeah, see this route from a lot of players. He'll probably go back and check him. He's just hoping that he can rule out anything good being over there.
He's already checked the big key chest, so that's one less thing he's got to worry about.
A good item from Zora could really help FC's position here, because it probably would be a while before Freddie makes his way back there.
Oh, there's Quake. There's Quake out of Swamp Palace.
Yeah. No way to know if that's useful just yet. They do have to complete both dungeons that require... Oh, there's the lamp. After he's already gone through a handful of dark rooms. That is a good item, though.
And Freddie's already made a trip up that way without the money, so that would be his only reason to go there. I forget if he checked Catfish or not, though.
Yeah, he did. When you first went to Dark World, he went up that way. So that makes it even less likely that he's going to go back up there anytime soon.
Yeah, if he hadn't checked Catfish, then he with the mirror he would have had reason to route them both together. But I doubt he'll go up there for just Zora. And there's another sword. FC getting his Master Sword out of King's Tomb.
Nice. Yeah, the lamp isn't technically required. I would much rather have it than not have it. Even going a little out of my way to get it, I probably would do. Some players are very competent without it, and some are not very confident. I have no idea about Freddie, but I don't think he's gonna... I mean, if he has to do a dark room to finish the last dungeon, he'll just do the dark room, because that's just what you do.
Yeah, for Freddie right now, the two major dark choke points I could see would be the turtle room in Pod, although he has a fire rod to light the room, so might be okay there. But the dark rooms in Misery Mire, those tend to give some problems.
Yeah, and I personally have a lot of trouble with the Turtle Rock dark room, even though that's the one that the majority of people say is the easiest. I don't really know what's going on there. Freddie's going to head back in to get these last few items here. He already showed in Thieves Town that he's not the kind of guy who likes to leave a couple of locations unchecked. Likes to be thorough.
And Sick Kid giving up his lunch money.
Yeah, not the best prize. FC coming back into the Dark World here. There's a chance he might finish Thieves Town.
Well, he's also got Blacksmith, Hammer Pegs, and if he wants to go for it, Purple Chest.
Yeah, there's definitely other things he could do here.
Yeah, it looks like Thieves Town is not on his list right now.
Nope. Doing Hammer Pigs first. Oh, I guess that makes sense. He's going to have to save and quit with the dwarf, so he's going to have to come back here in the light world, since he does not have the mirror. So yeah, it makes sense to do this first.
Yeah, we did get powder check, but it was like an arrow upgrade. Something not exactly wanted. Or 3 bombs. That was close.
Yeah, really unfortunate that FC did miss that mirror, because it's kind of forcing them to have to do some really inefficient routing here. But that's the way it goes sometimes. If you could always get the good items in the best order, then you always would.
Yeah, race and randomizer, you make do with what you got, and hope it's good enough sometimes.
Yeah. Already picking up some bombs. The last location in Swamp.
And
not too special.
Buried treasure in the grove.
Now, where's Freddeh going here? Is he gonna... He knows he doesn't need the cape, right? At least I was pretty sure the item on the bumper ledge was not important. Maybe he just wants it for safety.
Well, I mean, if you think you're going to have to do a silverless Ganon, or if you think you're going to have to do Master Sword Ganon, capes, not a bad item.
Oh no, it can help speed up that fight a lot with the Master Sword only. Well, now that Freddie's got that... well, actually, he might make his way up mountain now. Yeah, it looks like he may be doing that. I think he still hasn't checked the lumberjack. Maybe that's part of the reason why he got the cape. When the small chance that he's going to end up having to do Ganon. Oh wait, he hasn't upgraded sword. Why would I even... Oh man, I'm too in the randomizer mindset of having to do things the non-typical way.
Hey, it's good to know all the different ways you have to get into something, because sometimes randomizer requires some weird things.
Yeah, for sure. But sometimes it requires some normal things too. And that's what I tend to forget sometimes. Alright. Ice Rod, Dark Death Mountain so far. A few more locations to check here.
Depending on the... Well, FC doesn't have any medallions yet, but if he gets the medallion for Turtle Rock, he'll be able to clear it now.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty funny thing to see. Turtle Rock is the 3rd crystal. But it is definitely a possibility. Alright, we're going to see what that medallion is now. Oh, and it's Quake.
It's Quake.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. We might see Freddie get his Titan Mist from Hera, do Dark Death Mountain, and then be able to go into Turtle Rock immediately. That would be some pretty nice routing, I think.
And Turtle Rock, that's 5 items right there. Plus, once Freddie gets his Titan's Mitts, he'll have his 5-6 crystal already.
Oh yeah, that's true. Ooh, and FC is doing Ice Palace. Well, not really a bad call, honestly. I mean, just given the situation that he's in.
And we know because of Freddie that Swamp Palace... Well, okay, Swamp Palace had Quake. So it's going to depend on what Turtle Rock has as to whether or not Ice Palace right now is... Well, it still might be a great play, so we'll see what happens.
We're seeing another medallion on the island. I actually didn't see what that was earlier, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to admit that I wasn't paying attention.
question, is that ether going to be required? Because FC did not get that when he went through Mimic Cave.
He was actually unable to because he doesn't have the mirror.
Oh, right.
But maybe he didn't check it. That's what chat's saying. Maybe I was paying attention, but he actually didn't check it. With the Canis Mario, let's see how FC decides to route Ice Palace. He may choose to not do the bomb jump. Some players like to not do it in this situation. Yeah, hitting the switch.
Now, when looking at items, we're about 46 minutes in. So one of the questions is, could a pedestal seed still be in the making?
Oh, you know, I'm sure there's some way it could be. Misery Mire Medallion could still be there, technically. So there's at least some possibility.
We also haven't seen a flute.
That's true. The flute is required to get to Misery Mire. That's pretty much the only thing it's absolutely required for, but it is still a nice item to have. Anyway.
But the Mire Medallion or the flute are the only... That or a fetch quest leading to either of them are the only things that could be on PED that would make it required. With Eastern being a pendant dungeon, the bow cannot be on the pedestal this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the bow was on the pedestal in the first seed that I ever did where they changed the game so items could be on the pedestal. That was fun. Really trying to do a cool strat there with the spin. Kills two of the beetles and also hits the switch. It worked, but the spin hit the switch twice, which does sometimes happen also. So you had to hit it again anyway. Freddeh getting his last item from Hera now. He'll be able to fight Moldorm with the Master Sword, which unfortunately doesn't actually do more damage than the Fighter Sword with a regular slash. If you wanted to do more damage, you have to use spins, which he probably will do. 3 spins instead of 6 slashes could technically be faster and does prevent Moldorm from speeding up to the last hit. He's trying to do what we call the bumper skip. There's a small range of pixels here where you can dash above this bumper and below the pit in order to get through here a little quicker. I think it loses about 10 seconds every time you fall. Yeah, it took his time that time to set it up. Some cash in the big chest.
Yeah, I haven't counted, so I don't know if FC's gotten 2 items or 3 out of Ice Palace.
I'm not totally sure either. Well, he probably doesn't have 3 because he's still checking locations. Yeah, so the middle hole at Moldorm, it's a little more costly to fall there than around the sides because you do fall 2 full floors. Not sure why they went with this design for this boss because it's so different than any other boss fight. It's the only fight you can leave. Not usually by choice, but you could if you wanted to for some reason. So let's see if Freddeh decides to check out the Dark World Death Mountain right after this. FC going to heal up before Cold Stare. He has plenty of magic, so you can kill the Cold Stare's shell and still have use of the Fire Rod afterwards. Master Sword is not the best weapon in this fight, but it does damage Cold Stare.
Now it takes 8 Fire Rod shots to break Cold Stare out of his shell, which normally is a full magic bar. But with half magic, he should still have 7 to 8 shots left over.
Yeah. Also, in Randomizer, the shell fades out instead of disappearing abruptly, which is what it's originally designed to do, but because of a small tile set error in the vanilla game, the fade effect was lost and missed by beta testers, I guess because it's such a subtle thing. But we have patched it back in, we've repaired that very, very small cosmetic thing that almost nobody probably notices. And a good fight there. I guess that's worth noting as well. Took no damage at all. Blasted them dudes with the fire rod.
Now, what would really be trolly right now is if that green pendant locked the bow behind it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'd be really unfortunate for FC, actually, even though he'd be getting a good item, because it would open up more locations for him to check. Well, I mean, it wouldn't open up many locations, but it would make a few more lucrative to check. Like, you don't want to go to Palace of Darkness without the bow. But once you get it, maybe you feel like you're being pointed in that direction, and that would put him farther away from the mirror. Ooh. Not so good.
Bomb.
But again, I mean, that does restrict his options a little bit, which may end up helping him out. The less stuff he finds now, the sooner he'll go back for the chest that he skipped. But he's going down to the portal. I think he's doing Palace of Darkness anyway. This might not be so bad. He does have the lamp and the hammer. The bow could be here, and he may be able to finish this dungeon and get a crystal.
On the other hand, that very first chest could have like a big 20 and it could just be locked.
Yeah, anything other than a small key is going to lock the dungeon if you don't have the bow. Or the bow, obviously. Oh, it looks like he's not doing the dungeon. Just wanted that for Dark World access. Yeah, he hasn't checked out some of these overworld locations that Freddeh has. Yeah, he'll get another sword in the pyramid. That'll be a nice thing to have, but won't really help him out too much. And he might make his way all the way up to the catfish. Alright, is Freddeh going to go into Turtle Rock when he sees this? Looks like the answer is yes.
FC's getting his tempered sword now, so the rest of these bosses he'll cut through. Well, not quite like butter. It's not a butter sword.
Not quite.
But Freddie's making the Turtle Rock play. That's 5 items. And
6 if you count the Mimic Cave.
8 if you count the fact that it also gives Fat Fairy access right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be something here or in the ferry. Catfish gonna throw out, I think it was a red rupee.
Sounds about right.
It's a safe guess anyway, because it's the most common item, even if you don't remember. But yeah, that's not gonna make him happy.
I think it's 28 red rupees compared to 24 pieces of heart for your top 2?
That sounds right. Don't have the statistics in front of me right now. And now it might be time for Palace of Darkness for FC. Full clear in Turtle Rock usually doesn't take a lot longer than doing it normally. Just because there's a lot of, I want to call them like auto-scroller rooms, but that's not exactly what they are. But where movement is a strict speed, like on a Samari platform or in a pipe. And you have to check out most of the rooms either way.
Yeah, about the only differences would be whether or not you check the vanilla big key chest, and how much of laser bridge you have to do if you're doing it in go mode or full clear. Here's the infamous chain chomp room. See how well he gets through here.
Oh.
That's a flute. That's big.
Random.
FC found a small key, so he is not locked out of pod yet. And Freddeh is, he's 1, possibly 2 items from go mode, depending on how comfortable he is with lampless. FC's got the mushroom, so we've got another fetch quest in our books.
Oh man. Well, it could still potentially yield something good, but it's going to lead him away from the one good item that we actually know he can get to.
That mushroom, though, that's 1 less chest that could be a bow.
Oh, yeah. Well, just on the way that the logic works, we do note that there can't be a bow remaining in Palace of Darkness. They accidentally bow-locked more chests than they had to.
LFC's got some more blue goo. Oh, there's Bombos. Freddeh has all medallions now.
Yeah, and since he has a flute, he'll definitely be able to finish Misery Mire whenever he wants.
That is officially Rip Pedestal.
Aw, too bad.
With that book on Freddie's side, I wouldn't be surprised if he checks the ether tablet right after coming out of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he might do that. I don't think he checked the Spike Cave, so he may kind of do those together. Here's the Dark Room in Turtle Rock. The one everyone says is the easiest. I'm pretty sure there's just some simple thing you can do, like hold the directional input, and you'll eventually get there. But I haven't really looked into it.
Yeah, from what I've seen, you can hold a direction and use the fire bars as a reference point to find out that you've hit that fork, and then hold your next direction.
Okay, that's a good visual to use.
Nagina's Cave just with narrow upgrade.
Yeah, not too good there. Freddeh opting to use his cape to get these. Cape to get Burna. That's nice.
I was about to ask if he's. I didn't think he hit the exit cave, and now he is.
Gotta be a little careful you don't knock yourself back into the bomb. You have to hit that beetle. FC is turning in. I'm guessing he's turning in the mushroom here. Yeah, with 1 heart, Freddeh. He had a fairy anyway. I was gonna say he might have died on purpose or by accident. If it was by accident, he might have wanted to do it on purpose anyway, just to get those hearts back.
And judging by how he got knocked away from that beetle, I don't think it was on purpose.
No, I don't think it was. And another dead end for FC.
Mushroom for 20 rupees.
Yeah. Freddeh's able to heal up completely here, and there's a full magic right before try next, so he'll be like full health, full magic, with half magic. Even with the Master Sword, I don't think he's going to have any trouble with this fight.
That bow, though, is being very elusive right now. I mean, the book opened up 2 possible locations, so we'll see what happens there, maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely a few places it could still be. I'm wondering what Freddie's thinking now. I wonder if he's thinking about Zora. We know it's not there, of course. But yeah, it could be in Misery Mire, could be at the ferry. Could be at this chest here that FC has taken. He made his way right past Thieves Town again, but didn't want to go in. Just coming for the chest. Yeah, and Freddeh actually cut it pretty close on magic. Well, he does have a blue potion, so he would have been fine either way. I think it's 5 hits with the hammer in this last phase.
And you got 2 of them quickly on the head while it was vulnerable.
Yeah, I believe that head is vulnerable at the beginning of the fight because his first movement does not ignore collision. He goes through walls and objects, but in the first movement he'll hit the wall and bounce off of it, and that is not a hard-coded movement. There's actually a collision detection. And I think that's the reason why his head is able to take damage at the start of the fight. Once again, FC is headed towards Thieves Town. Let's see if this will be the time that he goes in.
Please go in there. Please go in there.
Yeah, it looks like Freddeh is going to check out that tablet right away. And there goes FC. I think he found, what was it, 2 items in the first 4 chests, and Thieves Town has 4. Might have even been 3.
And Freddeh, it might not be a bow, but red mail probably might not be what he's looking for, but he'll be happy to take it.
Yeah. It's not going to help him in the Spike Cave, unfortunately. But he's not really going to need it either. Not with half magic in the Cane of Burna. 12 hearts. All right. Still can't shoot those silver arrows. He's got 50 of them in his pocket until he does get the bow.
Still probably saved more time going in there and getting silvers. That probably takes less time than silverless Ganon.
If he doesn't find another sword upgrade, those silvers will make a big difference. But yeah, the silver arrows, if you have the temper of the gold sword, save maybe 20 to 30 seconds, I think.
FC piecing out of Thieves Town with the mirror.
Yeah, he may first check a few overworld locations that the mirror does open up. Already playing that sweet, sweet flute music. Playing playing a free concert in Hyrule Town Square. Unfortunately, nobody showed up except this bird.
FC's. I think this is. I forget if Freddie's checked Graveyard Ledge.
I don't believe that he has.
Come to think of it, I don't think he's checked King's Tomb either, because I think that's where.
Yeah, that would be another sword upgrade. So if I were Freddie, I'd go straight for another beatable dungeon. Yeah, I'd go straight to Mire. Check the area or the locations around it first, but yeah, it seems like the best play. I think FC is going to do Swamp.
Now, since Freddie doesn't have Lamp, I wonder if he's going to Mirror and do Desert first.
Well, looks like he's going straight for the dungeon, not even checking the overworld stuff first.
Just getting those silvers, I think we'll at least check for Bow. Oh, he's going in.
Yeah, I'm sure he's comfortable enough with the dark rooms. With 14 hearts, half magic, a couple safety items, and I think he still has a blue potion. I think he's going to be okay.
Now, I'm just a bit surprised he didn't check the outside locations for the bow just to make Vitreous that much faster.
Yeah, I mean, or the lamp. I mean, we know where the lamp is, but he doesn't. Misery Mire is a deceptively simple dungeon in its design. When you play through this casually, it feels like it has a lot of complexity, but there's really just a large kind of section of the dungeon that you just never have to access in order to complete it. It's just very labyrinthian in design. It's also my favorite dungeon because it has a room shaped like a giant fish. One of the silliest things in the whole game.
Freddie's already got the big key, so he could just go straight to Vitreous, but I doubt he'll pass up the items.
No, I think he might go to Vitreous first and then come back in if there's still items remaining, as he did in Swamp.
Especially hashtag that one chest.
Mm-hmm. 10 arrows, that's one item. Mire only does have 2 items. That's sort of a bow taunt, isn't it? Oh, and there's the other item. So he can go straight to Vitreous from here, and we'll never have to check the left side at all. I'm going to fill up one magic before he goes downstairs, just in case. This room can go very smooth if everything goes right, but once it starts to go wrong, it can be very difficult to get back into a good place here.
Red mail and 15 hearts, so he's got a little bit of leeway. Those fireballs will always do 1 heart of damage. But
that's right.
15 hearts, so yeah, it's going to take a little bit.
And the blue potion. I already got through it. He kind of did it from like a point of reference. Instead of aiming straight for the switch, he placed the block near the switch so he could push it on. That also gave him a little safety from being damage boosted after placing the block and unintentionally pushing it off.
FC's making his way over to Argus.
With a level 3 sword, he'll be able to do this fight a little faster than Freddeh was able to.
Yeah, those little puffballs dying in just one shot.
Yeah, probably see a single attack cycle from Argus in 2 movements. He'll do 3 movements and then attack. So you kind of count the pace of the fight based on attacks and movements.
Oh, wow!
He did technically get the quick kill there. It didn't. It took like an extra movement, but only 1 dive attack.
Yeah, that's actually the first time I've seen a kill in that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a weird thing where the boss won't like keep iframes if you hit him with the fire rod, and his jump doesn't happen immediately. So you're able to chain 3 hits there, 2 fire rod shots and a spin attack to kill him without him jumping up the second time. Pretty taking advantage of all those hearts that he had, waiting to use the cape until the fight was nearly over. Used powder to heal up before this fight. Powder has really been coming in handy. I think both players have made good use of it so far.
Got hit by the lightning.
Yeah, that also I think does 2 damage no matter what armor you have. So that's pretty scary. This is going to take a while. I think it's 32 slashes with the Master Sword. It's actually ridiculous. But he's going to play it real safe and slow. And eventually it'll die.
In the vanilla game, actually you could have tempered by this point. It was gold that you couldn't have. Yeah,
you couldn't have gold sword or silver arrows unless you do glitches, but you could have regular arrows. This guy does take a higher amount of damage from arrows relative to swords than like any other enemy. So arrows are definitely very strong against him.
And small key force trouble, but we know there were no more items left.
All right, let's see what the vicinity of Misery Mire holds. Pretty good chance that the bow is going to be here. Though if it's not, I think Freddeh has still a lot of options. A handful that we know aren't going to work. And a few that we don't know about yet. Ooh, he's probably trying to use the mirror to erase that block there, which is a minor glitch only available in the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. Probably just timed the press wrong.
FC's making his Turtle Rock dive. Right now, he's a full 2 dungeons behind. But depending on where this bow is, it might take Freddeh a while.
Yeah, definitely could. Well, we know based on what item is missing, where the crystals and pendants are, that the pedestal's not going to have anything, so there's no reason to full clear this dungeon unless Almolis has the last item.
This is a crystal. Desert's a crystal.
Oh, wow. I thought that the only crystal left was Path of Darkness. Okay, never mind then. He's going to happily fully clear this dungeon, no matter what. He'll still be happy to find an item here, though, if he does. Or he's hoping to find one.
Yeah, Freddie's already found 300 rupees on the torch, so he's waiting, so... I'm gonna get that second item. Did he check the big chest?
Good question.
I saw where he got the big key. I don't think he checked the big chest.
No, I guess that's kind of comparable to skipping the west side of Swamp and Misery Mire and then going back if you don't find the item at Amola's. But this one's a little less worthwhile. Not terrible though. I mean, the big chest is not far from where you end up after you finish the La Mola's fight. Just gotta walk up a set of stairs and then go through like just a few rooms.
If Bo ends up on Lamolus, though, this is going to be a very quick seed.
Yeah, he's making pretty good time. Gonna try to use the fire rod. 2 fire rod shots per worm. Their blinking color is a little off, I think, because of the sprite palette change. Does affect a few other things in the game. Alright, that's gonna be the compass. Gonna go back for that chest. Meanwhile, FC is making his way through Turtle Rock still, checking out the Mimic Cave now. Won't find nothing here. The worst thing I think for Freddeh, if he does find the bow very soon, might be that he won't get another sword.
There's FC's Bombos to get into Mire. Probably be glad that, well, I wonder if he'll still get the Ether. Because it's right there.
Maybe. If he doesn't check Mire first, well, no, I think I'll go to Mire first and not get the Ether.
Big chest and desert, only having a shield upgrade.
Yeah, not a great thing. It does help in a few places, but I think he's passed a lot of those places already.
Yeah,
could help in blind. Could help in the dark room of Misery Mire. Anywhere with fireballs, really.
Yeah, right now the thing that would help be Mirror Shield for the red mimics in Ganon's tower.
Yeah. If you happen to fall off at laser skip, you can get to the nearest chest just with the iframes from the fall. That works at the bottom and the top, but not for the 2 middle chests.
FC's hitting his safety room for Turtle Rock.
Yep, and the 2 hearts.
Have they found all 4 items in Thieves Town?
Oh, I think so. I think we might be seeing a North Hyrule check from Freddeh here. So he'll probably go to Graveyard and King's Tomb.
FC taking that fairy dive.
Oh no, he actually hasn't done hasn't even done Smith yet. Okay, well if he does this whole sequence, he'll be able to get the Bombos tablet at the end, which will be a new location for us. FC is going to be able to tear into Trinex with the Temper Sword. Going to try to do the backdoor strat. This is a little bit faster. There's a better chance of preventing the ice from shooting. Unfortunately, he forgot to switch his his item. If you're wondering why he was just standing still there, you cannot use your menu while a boss explosion is taking place. Not entirely sure why that's the case. There may just be some issue with the animation.
quick kill from FC.
Yeah, definitely.
So depending on how quick his mire is, I still got mire and desert, but it's still pretty close, even though he's 2 dungeons behind.
Yeah, desert's definitely not a long one.
And we're still within that window where if one racer goes left side Ganon, the other goes right. The lead could shrink right there. We might be a little bit until we see it, but it's still pretty close.
Right. Yeah, so earlier I said FC would probably go to Meyer before getting this medallion. I was mistaken. He was going to get the medallion first, just to be safe.
I can't blame him. If he knows where it is, then having guaranteed access, it helps.
Yeah. I kind of got the impression Freddeh changed his mind about fluting there and tried to dodge the bird at the last minute. Where did he leave his... I don't think he left a nearby portal, though, so it doesn't really make a difference.
I thought he left it right at the other side of that screen transition.
Well, he may have. But I guess after getting picked up by the bird makes a little difference. Yeah, I'll probably check this Bombos tablet and then check out the Pyramid Fairy. And really, we're running... I mean, we're not so late in the seed, though. Now we're 21, looking for the last item with 1 crystal dungeon remaining. But we're still feel like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel on locations.
Yeah, they've... with the exception of the Ice Palace check, we've already seen We've already seen most of the location checks from Freddeh in terms of dungeons.
Yeah. I think it's got to be the pyramid, though.
FC showing his displeasure with the Mire Shack.
Yeah, I think it's got to be this. I mean, there are still a couple places Freddeh hasn't checked, but that FC has.
Yes, chat's pointing out Freddeh looks like he's just trying to avoid Ice Palace with a passion, and yeah, if he does that, that's a good play on him.
Yeah. Doesn't want to go into Palace of Darkness without the bow either. What's it gonna be? Oh yeah, there it is.
There's the bow, and Freddeh is in go mode.
Oh yeah. Just 1 crystal dungeon remaining for him. And of course Ganon's tower and Ganon. Freddeh has actually already, to answer a question in chat, he has already gotten that sword upgrade. It was a different one that he missed, the one in King's Tomb. And that would help a lot. I mean, it still does speed up the fight, the Ganon fight a lot. But with the lead that he has, I think just surviving the fight is all he needs to do. And with silver arrows and some safety items, I think that'll be okay.
That's another thing to note. FC still doesn't have silver arrows. And I forget, where was that again?
Oh boy. I'm sure chat will answer before I can remember. Oh, it was Spike Cave, that's right.
I remember it was some obscure location, but
Yeah.
That's right. Spike Cave actually paid out this seed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably end up with a Master Swords with silvers and a Tempered or better without silvers.
Yeah, I think that's likely. Although there is a chance of a sword upgrade in Ganon's Tower, of course. Freddeh is just looking for the big key in this dungeon. I don't think he'd check extra chests to find like the lamp or something. I just don't see that being the case.
He's already proven he can go through the Mire Dark Rooms. He can probably go through the Pod Dark Rooms, especially with the Turtle Room having a torch in it that you can light with the fire rod.
Yeah. A lot of small keys in this dungeon. I think, what is it, 5 or 6? Quite a lot.
I think it was 6. I remember there's 5 items, and I don't think it was the same number of keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 items is nice until you remember you gotta wade through that many keys.
Yeah, it's a lot of items, but not the highest item density. Oh, nice. There's the last shield.
Oh, there's your mimic problem solved for Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, just a little bit more security. There's actually a very fast strategy you can do in the first Mimic's room of Ganon's Tower that does use the Mirror Shield. It's pretty uncommon to see. There's only a couple players who know that strat, and it is a little risky. But if you're interested in that, I think Mike the Viewer is one of the players who does it. I think the OK guy is actually the one who came up with the idea first. You can see it in his 100% speedruns. Ooh, FC's going to check the left side of Mire. We know nothing's here, but we haven't seen it. So we at least get to see where a couple more dungeon items are.
No, both of the items were on right side. So.
Yeah, it looks like he may not do the torch room. Only checking one of the the other torch room, I should say. There are 2.
The one with the cutscene.
Yeah, this is a pretty common Misery Mire route. A little less of a gamble, I'd say, than what Freddeh did, since he skipped one more chest. But when the gamble pays off, what Freddeh did saves more time. So that's the balance that keeps the universe balanced.
That was a delayed bomb on Freddie's side. He threw the bomb at the crystal, then fell off, so he respawned at the top of the room, and that bomb decided it wasn't going to go off until it would have been on the screen.
Yeah. Some sprites and items like bombs, their timer will count down, even if they're off screen, but their global state won't change, or their AI state in the case of sprites. So that's why we sometimes see when you walk into a room a jelly will electrify instantly because his timer was going down while you were in the adjacent room and it was technically loaded, but it won't change to the electrification state until it's on screen. And the bomb is another case like that, or at least very near to on screen. Doesn't come into play too often, except when weird things happen with bombs like that. FC's doing some dark rooms with the lamp, while Freddeh is doing some without.
Yeah, FC unfortunately missed the fireball in the switch room. It was just barely off screen, and he actually had to go up and hit it.
Using the fire rod here, as you said he probably would. Definitely makes the room a lot easier.
Yeah, navigating around stationary targets, it's not so bad. Having to kill moving targets?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, in this last hallway here before Helmosaur, I mean, if I have 13 hearts especially, I don't even try to kill these guys. I'll just walk through them. It's not even worth the trouble. Alright, it'll take 17 hits to break Helmosaur's mask. If you use bombs, you can actually overkill the mask, so his second phase will have a little bit less HP that you have to kill, but that's not going to matter because he's probably going to use a single silver arrow to kill Helmosaur. While Fred is killing Vitreous a little bit faster with a tempered sword with a combination of slashes and spins.
Yeah, Helmosaur King being nice, and when the mask pops up, it's like, oh, I'm going to throw some fireballs. Being a nice stationary target.
Yeah. Yeah. As Chad is saying now, FC has been gaining a lot of time with the sword advantage and the lamp. It's really unfortunate that he made one mistake that cost him so much time, because he could really be in a great position otherwise.
FC, we know all he has left to do to be in go mode is take care of the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, and it might not be long before he ends up doing that. Maybe right now.
And at one point he was 2 dungeons behind. Now he's only 1 dungeon behind. So definitely made up.
Yeah, a dungeon that he's already partially cleared.
That too. He can just go straight to the end.
Yeah, really made up a lot of time.
But here we go in the Ganon's Tower. So, where do you think the big key is going to be? Pick a number from 1 to 22, or if you got a location in mind, tell us what you think.
I don't even like guessing. I'm going to say some random number. 17.
Yo, how about center chest on Ice Armos?
The vanilla location?
Let's go with it. It'd be ironic.
I like when it's there.
There's the tempered sword.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually very nice for him. The chance of him self-destructing in Ganon's tower or on Ganon as a result of having a weak sword has gone.
Three chests down, the torch, just a piece of heart, so Bob gets to live today.
Yep. FC's going to be getting his bow very soon. Palace of Darkness will be fairly quick for him, depending on the big key location in Ganon's tower. We might see them both in the same dungeon at the same time. It'd have to be pretty late, though. He's got 4 keys. Sometimes I make a 4 keys joke at that point, but I don't think it ever lands, so I'm going to stop doing that.
Alright. So FC is in go mode now with essentially half a dungeon to do. If he makes right side gamble and it ends up being over there, we'll have a race on our hands.
Yeah, it could definitely tighten up. Now that the swords are equal, though, well, I mean, FC is going to get to gold, but that doesn't make a huge difference. The silver arrow advantage becomes much bigger for Freddeh. Yeah, still no big key.
Actually, I kind of lost track on what number this is.
Oh, I never count. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we're done 9 so far. This will be 10. Does that sound right? Oh, a 4 keys reference. Whenever they have 4 keys in Ganon's Tower, I say that they're ready to launch. It's just some dumb joke that never lands, so I'm going to abandon it.
Yeah, I think that was just 13 and still no big key. Because let me see here. Bob would be 14. Ice Armos would be through 17. Right side 21 and big key chest 22. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm right on my numbers.
See, here's the thing. I don't actually know anything about that game. But the old Forky's bot used to say that. That's literally the only thing I know about it.
Oh,
anyway,
Freddeh killed Bob!
Like I said, it's not a good joke. Well, his brother takes his place when you kill him. Maybe that's why the joke never landed, because I was getting it wrong the whole time.
And now that they say it, yeah, now I remember. I used to play that game.
Wow. Well, okay, I'll put that in my notes.
Well, it wasn't in the center of Ice Armos, and we have either a right side or a tile room big key.
Yeah, and FC could make up some more time there, but I'm afraid I honestly think it could be enough.
FC's getting his helmet sword down. Unfortunately, he won't have the silver arrow, so it's going to be, I believe, 4 swipes?
Yep, should be 4. You can release a spin to hit him once after killing the mask if you have your sword out while doing the hammers, and then only do 2 slashes afterwards. But there's the big key.
Yep, big key, chest number 19. It is on the right side. I don't think we had a guess at 19.
Oh, apparently we did.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did.
Congratulations to RD Walsh. We're just having a little trouble here. Some of these early rooms in the upstairs section of Ganon's Tower. Just slowing him down a little bit. Not really in danger. making his way to the Gauntlet. There's an official strategy guide which refers to this section of the game as the Enemy Endurance Test. We haven't really adopted that name yet, though. We still refer to it as the Gauntlet, a series of 5 rooms where the only objective is to kill all the enemies to advance. There are fun things like BMOS on conveyors and ice and spikes. Really ROM hack-esque rooms here.
So, as we're getting close to the end of this run, if you all like what you're seeing from these runners, like the show they're putting on for us, please remember to be sure to give them a follow. See what they're up to outside of races.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
or creep up on them. Or creep up on them while they're doing a weekly.
Alright, actually Lamolas here is an example of something I was mentioning earlier where their timers will count down when they're loaded, but they won't actually advance in their state until you're on screen. If you take more time in the previous room, where in this case Freddeh powdered that bunny beam, the timing of the Lamolas changes. They'll actually jump out at closer to the same time because the first one's timer will count down, the second one will start, and if you wait long enough, the third one will count down as well. And that caused them to desynchronize a little bit, or to synchronize rather a little bit, and made the arrows a little harder to hit. FC's going left side, so he's not really going to save any time in Ganon's tower, but they are in the same dungeon at the same time, and given the situation he was in earlier, I'd say that was he made up a lot of time here. Not really much to threat of running out of magic when you have half magic. There's also a full vial in between the 2 torch rooms in case you need it.
Yeah, and Freddeh, I believe he still has blue potions as a yeah, there you see one. So he'll be set to go right out of the tower and into Ganon.
Yep. How's Moldorm 2 gonna play this time? He's gonna try to do 1 spin and 1 slash with this sword. That'll be the optimal way to kill him. Really not playing nice at all. He got a poke, which means he'll need 2 spins, or another spin and slash to kill him. There you go.
He tried to be trolly. You gotta give him that.
He tried really hard. And the last chest holds just a heart piece.
FC's making his way to the rando room, and those Helmasaurs, really, that bumper just sent Fred way off track.
Yeah, he was able to get in the stairs though. Sometimes they troll you right at the door. In that case, honestly, you can turn around and try to slash them to knock yourself into the door. That's not actually a bad strategy if that happens. Yeah, kind of a split pattern here. It's hard to deal with patterns like that when you can't get all of them on one side of you.
I think that was a double.
Yeah, looked like he got knocked back twice. Ooh, didn't quite release the spin in time there on that last one. Oh dang, and got an energy ball eaten by the wall. Alright.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen an energy ball just get eaten yet.
Yeah, if you knock him back into the wall before the main one does his attack, it can get consumed by the wall. FC not doing at least not succeeding in doing the quick kill on the Armos here. But he has a few dozen arrows, so oh wow, he actually was able to avoid the red one in the end. That's pretty funny.
Oh, that Ganon's text, that was kind of close to vanilla.
Oh, I don't read the words. It's like Freddeh got a 2 cycle in the first phase. Might be able to get a 1 cycle in the second phase.
He did get a spin in.
Yeah, looks like there's another 2 cycle. A 2 and 2. Shoutouts to Chuck Woolery. Into the third phase. Only got to hit him 1 time per warp. Again, decides whether or not you can hit him on each warp. Should be a 50% chance.
I remember at one point Ganon's teleports were taken out of the randomizer and then they put them back in because they could be seated.
Yeah. Yeah, really it does change the fight. It's not just pointless RNG because, especially if you have the Master Sword, it can actually be hard to hit him in the third phase. And knowing you have 0 warps makes it free. So it does actually add a bit of challenge and a bit of depth to the fight. But also, the final position where he warps, whether it's top or bottom, will affect the 4th phase. So there's also some more dynamics in that regard. So it is nice to have some warps in. It's nice that they're seated, so nobody's losing significantly more time to that. Clean 3rd and 4th phase there from Freddeh. Enough to finish that pig off. Meanwhile, FC is making his way up the upstairs part of the tower here. So 100% of the people who predicted that Fred would win this race were right. Had to close IRC, so I don't know what his official final time was, but his splits timer says 1 hour 47 minutes even. Give or take a couple seconds on the official time.
It was 1 hour 46 minutes and 46 seconds, and I think I forgot about push to talk, so oops.
Oh. Let's see. Is Freddeh one of the people who has a voice and who likes to talk after a race? We'll see about that. FC's going to heal up before La Mola's.
Yeah, he's getting a little low there. He also doesn't have the red mail, so he's taking a little bit more damage.
Pendant Ice Palace, or maybe Ice Rod Cave, or Zora. It's like the 3 locations I think left. Oh, maybe Graveyard Cliff. I think that was the other one.
What's up, Freddeh?
Hello.
Congratulations.
Oh, well, hi guys. I was trying to talk to the rating room. Come on. So yeah, GG. What did I miss in other Fredland?
Other Fred is heading up to the Kana Samaria room with the 3 Wizrobes.
Okay.
Yeah, he really made one major mistake, which was leaving Thieves Town early. So he missed the mirror for a while.
I was thinking about that too. I'm like, I don't have mirror, but no, I should get the last item just in case mirror pops up. Definitely glad I did that. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, so that puts you 3-3, which means you're going to be playing in the wild card race.
Oh boy, I heard there's some stiff competition in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. How are you feeling about that? Are you confident going into it?
I hope I get a little bit more practice before then. That's for sure.
You
I
got
had some rust
3
showing
days.
in that one. 3 days, and I'm gonna be half asleep because it's at like noon for me, which is early when you have to close 2 nights before at 5 in the morning. Ugh.
Yeah,
but
I know how
it'll
that
be
is.
fun. We'll see. I'll go for it. Make a stupid gamble and maybe win off of that. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, how many people are playing in that race? Do we have an exact number?
Oh, I don't know, 20-ish? Maybe not even that many. Let me look at the challenge. Is it gonna be exactly 32? Jesus.
32.
And what, 6 get in or something like that?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's that might be a little tough.
It'll be tough, we'll see. Never
Yeah.
know. Hit arrow boost. Haha.
We got FC opening validation, and I'm guessing he's not happy that he didn't get silvers out of there because we just saw bombos.
Oh yeah,
We did find a lamp. Where did lamp end up being, actually, by the way?
that was at King Zora.
It was Zora? Ha. Funny. I literally did as much as I could before going to Zora to try to get enough money and still didn't get it.
Oh yeah,
Or almost as much.
yeah. Money was a little scarce in the beginning of the seed,
Yeah.
but you did fine without it. You did have to do a lot of dark rooms, and you got through all of them just fine.
Yeah, not too many issues. Not more than the usual dark room issues.
Yep. The seed had one of my favorite things in it, which is an early Turtle Rock completion.
Oh, yeah. I was like, well, I'm glad I guess I went to other stuff before up here, because I can do Turtle Rock without feeling too unsafe.
Yeah, yeah.
Master Sword Trinex isn't the best, but...
No, you still had a blue potion at that point.
yeah.
A lot of hearts early.
It was definitely a little bit scary of a Vitreous fight, though.
Oh, yeah.
I burned my fairy earlier, as I remembered halfway through the fight. I'm like, oh, well, I'll just be safe. It'll be fine. I won't die to this, probably. No problem.
Yeah. You had a few hearts left and then turned off the cape just in time to get hit by the lightning.
Of course.
Yeah. And of course, it takes 32 slashes to kill him with the Master Sword.
I wasn't counting.
No point to count, anyway.
It takes a lot. That's the important part.
Yeah. Were you considering maybe drinking that potion at that point, just in case?
Oh,
Or
I
did-
was, but I felt safe enough not
Yeah.
feeling. That's why I kept my cape out as well, just in case I missed a sword swipe. I can probably cape in time, maybe.
Maybe.
I was planning on not trying to test that. Also, where did Butter end up being?
Oh, the sword that you missed was in King's Tomb.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's where I was heading next after Fat Fairy.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like you were really just trying to rule out all the overworld locations before going into Ice Palace.
I didn't really want to go into Ice Palace.
Yeah, well, it wasn't worth it.
I like early Ice Palace personally, but not when I'm looking for Bow and just Bow and its pendant.
Yeah, the other Fred went in and full cleared Ice Palace.
Ooh.
Yeah, not finding anything really.
Yeah, I imagine there wasn't anything there.
Yeah, that was when he was still missing the mirror.
Oh, and he never went into Spike Cave either, it looks like.
Nope. Yeah, he's just finishing up Ganon without being able to use the silver arrows. He has to use a small glitch here to deal damage. There's a small frame window when you can do an attack to damage Ganon. It works with the slash or a spin, and with the gold sword the damage isn't going to be different, but with the spin attack there's a much longer duration when the damage is dealt, so it's just a much easier way to hit him. It'll be 12 hits.
Oh, if Ganon fired a bat there, that would have been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but he got through it.
Hey. Silverless isn't too bad.
It's not too bad with a little practice.
It's slower, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Trip going to Ether Tablet and Spike Cave was definitely worth it, though.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you were... I mean, going into Ganon's Tower, you were probably thinking about the possibility of having to do Ganon with the Master Sword.
Yeah,
so
I was not looking forward to that, but...
Yeah.
And FC finishing with a time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 33 seconds. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we'll maybe bring him in for an interview. Says he has no mic and has to run.
Ah.
So,
All right. Well, congratulations to FC on finishing. Unfortunately, this does mean that he is going to be out of this tournament with a record of 2-4, 2-4 in the Swiss stage. Let's see. Just want to check out the schedule here. It looks like we got Randomizer on almost every speed gaming channel right now. So you can pretty much just pick whichever one you want randomly, and you'll have Randomizer. But it also looks like a race was scheduled to start here at 7:30. So yeah, we're probably going to want to get out of here and let that one get started. So thanks everybody for tuning into this match. Hope you enjoyed the Battle of the Freds. Thanks for joining me on commentary, Dark Shadows.
thanks. It's been great commentating with you today, Super Scudge.
Yeah, always.
Guys. I'm sure it was fantastic.
Oh, it was a race. If it wasn't for the Ice Palace, I think it would have been closer. If it wasn't for the mirror, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's going to be all for us today. So thanks everybody again, and we'll see you next time.